right?
Right. Now, see, well, here's the thing. Now, while I think you're making a salient point, 4Kids' reputation among anime fans was years before One Piece. Anime fans hated you guys, and they still do because they see what you're doing as basically raping their favorite shows in the name of just blind profit motivation. That's what they see this as. Now, I'm not validating that. I'm not saying that's a valid viewpoint, but based even just on the show Shaman King, which you guys handled, and the adaptation was hated by anime fans. When you guys announced One Piece, people started losing their minds and just exploding because they were so angry about it because they knew, quote unquote, that you were going to, quote unquote, butcher the show, which in complete honesty and in full personal honesty here, you did. That's the only thing I can point to is, well, this is an example of someone butchering a show. And so your reputation beforehand was not great among the fans. Now, so I don't think it's fair to say, like, if you just took One Piece out, your reputation would be fine. There's always going to be a segment, and it's a pretty decent-sized chunk of anime fans out there that will never forgive you, always hate you guys, and will, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that easy. Your reputation, 4Kids' reputation, is much longer than just One Piece. And you can always point to, like, well, you're just turning a children's show into a children's show, and I've always understood that point, and I always sympathize with that. You're taking a Japanese children's show and you're turning it into an American children's show, and that's not an easy transition to make, as you've discussed already. But I mean, even speaking to like Shaman King and even Yu-Gi-Oh, people were complaining about that. But it sounds to me like you never saw even remotely as much complaining about those titles as you did about One Piece.
Yeah, I think One Piece is the standard by which all complaining can be measured, and I think it's what happens is, right. Kids are watching these shows, not watching Yu-Gi-Oh, for instance, right, and they're 10, 11. And I'm discounting the anime fans for a second here just to make this point. 10, 11, loving it, watching it, and then they go online and they're now 12 and they realize, oh, 4Kids, oh, they see, oh, everyone hates them, right? And they're like, oh, 4Kids sucks. And then I get a rant about how we're so bad from a 12-year-old, right? Now, I can appreciate that that our adaptations did not meet the standards of what an anime fan would like. But I would argue also that anime fans' demographic isn't particularly the same one that, it doesn't translate over here, right, for what it needs the target demo. So, like you said, we were trying to make Kids Show a Kids Show. If we had to do it over, would it be done the same way? I don't think so. I don't think that would happen today. This was, like I said, it was all before my time, and I have been involved in some of the recent process of, working on the network and how we're acquiring properties and looking at properties now. And I know for a fact that there's a much more criteria how we review and how we pre-screen and work with the actual originator to make sure that it could be successful and successfully adapt it so that everyone's happy. So, I really can't speak too much other than to the past, other than what my understanding is of it and what happened, what I think happened, and how I think we got to where we were, and the realities of the confines of where what our world exists and how we needed to do things to get things on TV.
Is there a sense of regret? Do you guys regret what happened with One Piece?
I think there's been so much turnover here that I don't ask the CEO or COO, are you sad about One Piece? We're always looking at the future and what's going on now. I think just from talking to editors or whatever, like, oh, One Piece, everyone's just like, wow, I don't know why. It was a mess. It was a boondoggle, right? So it was. I think no one can look back and say, oh, that was, something that is great. It ended up being something that has, tarred the reputation of the company.
Right.
Fair enough.
Well, that's very very interesting. I'm not sure we've really gotten to the bottom of this. So what you're saying now, it sounds like you're saying there's checks in place to make sure that something like One Piece never happens again.
Yes. I think that the way that we critique and analyze and pre-screen properties would catch a situation such as happened with One Piece.